Meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, February 9th, 2023. I'd like to invite Debbie Lance forward from the True Life Church, and she'll provide us her invocation and lead us in our pledge if everyone will stand.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the opportunity you have before us here to listen to you, to hear your words, and to ask for your guidance. We thank you for those who have given their time to the city. We thank you for the people who are interested, who have come to be a part of this night. And we thank you for a city that has endless possibilities. Lord, let us know the responsibility in our hands. Guide us. Lead this meeting with your spirit, Father. And we thank you for every blessing of freedom, freedom to stand here, to call on your name, and to thank you for all you have done for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Mayor Williams,
Here.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Here. Councilmember Cagle,
Here.
Councilmember Tyler,
Here.
Councilmember Witt. Here. City Manager Miller,
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Here.
The next item on the list is the milestone awards for January 2023. We have two, Sanisha Stonich. He actually has 10 years of service here at the city, and Hal Duncan, 35 years. So we appreciate both of them and everyone for their services to our city and citizens. Without them, we wouldn't be what we are today, and we appreciate it. The next item is a special proclamation. I would like to ask, and then afterwards we're going to have a presentation. I'd like to ask all the council if you would come down front, please. Mr. Miller, if you'd like to come down as well. And I'd like to ask the McDonald family if they'll come forward. Come on up here and face me. So we've had another milestone in our city. Most recently, I think it was January the 21st.
Correct.
Miss Delphine McDonald had her 106th birthday. So I'd like to present the proclamation to her on behalf of Colleen, and I'll read it. Whereas Della McDonald was born in 1917 to a sharecropper and his wife in Bradley County, Tennessee during the midst of World War I while Woodrow Wilson was president. And whereas as an adult and young teen, Della worked on her grandfather's farm, picking cotton, milking cows, and taking care of three younger sisters. Whereas Della moved to Cleveland, Tennessee, experiencing for the first time indoor plumbing and running water. Whereas in 1935, Della began working at Hardwick Woolen Mills, sewing men's pants and later Army uniforms during World War II. Whereas in 1953, she married Reno McDonald and they moved to Farley Road, later buying the first home on E Street, now known as Prater Road. Whereas in 1957, Della and Reno adopted their only child, Colleen McDonald Lieberman, later having two granddaughters, one grandson-in-law, two granddaughters, and one great-grandson. And whereas in 1964, Della got her GED as well as her cosmetology license. In 1969, she opened a small shop attached to her house on Spring Creek Road. Whereas in 1987, at age 70, Della retired from doing hair, and the Social Security Administration accepted the Family Bible as proof of her age since birth certificates were not issued in rural Tennessee in 1917. Whereas Della is a member of Jones Memorial United Methodist Church, has lived through two pandemics, 2 world wars, taking her first cruise at age 91, a hot air balloon ride at 92, and driving until she was 95. Whereas Della has seen cars, airplanes, and all modern conveniences come to use, however, she's still afraid of electricity. Whereas Della attributes her longevity to her independent nature and the pot of black coffee she drinks every day. Therefore, today I declare February the 9th, 2023 as Della McDonald Day.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thrilled.
I think you'll want to get some pictures. Josephine? Yes. Would you like to come forward for the presentation?
I talk here.
Yes.
All right. We had 4 officers that went they above and beyond. We often make news when we don't do everything exactly right. We don't always, or our officers don't always get recognized when they do. I'll read what the sergeant wrote to me, that on February 7th, 2023, Officer Teddy Dyer and probationary officer Alan Resendez, so keep that in mind, he's not even off probation yet. They were presented with a situation where they showed up on I-75. We had a car that rolled over and was on its top. It was in a rocky, kind of like small boulders, everything else, presented with a very injured driver that was outside of the vehicle, and she tells them that her baby is inside the car. They effectively, and this is just how they're built, they start fighting over each other to go rescue the child. So they're on both sides of the car. They're trying to get the door open. What they're presented with is, again, a 2.5-year-old injured child upside down with its legs dangling. So they managed to get in. They're communicating with each other. One officer strips off most of his gear so he can fit in the very small area that he is able to get into. Manages to reach back, get a knife from another officer, cut the car seat free, pull it out, get the child out of the extremely damaged car. Again, mom's there. She's ended up having a couple of surgeries. But anyway, they get to the EMS. We get both the mother and the child to hospitals where they're ultimately are improving. Without the actions of our officers that night, this would have absolutely turned out far, far worse than it did. So, Officer Teddy Dyer, probationary officer Alan Resendez, Officer Joseph Jansen, and Officer Arthur Richardson. I would like to commend them for their going above and beyond and absolutely making a difference in a family's life.
Absolutely. And I'd like to ask for them to come forward. Yeah, come on right line, turn around, come around in here. On behalf of the city council, we appreciate your extraordinary efforts over and above your normal call. Like I say a lot of times, people run from tragedy and disaster and scenes, and y'all run toward it. And we cannot congratulate you and thank you enough for the job that y'all do and do very well. Thank you very much. And I want to offer y'all, each one of y'all, a challenge coin from the city of East Ridge.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank y'all again. Appreciate it.
Mayor, while I have the microphone, may I do a shameless plug that our next Citizens Police Academy is starting on February 28th. It's held for 10 weeks from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I think we have 4 or 5 applicants. We can take up to 12, so if anyone knows anybody that would be interested, Application is on the website. If they could download it, get it to me, we'll get them in this one.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. We will move to the next item on the agenda, the consent agenda. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes of the January 26, 2023 council meeting and the declaration of surplus property. And I will entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion, corrections? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. The next item is communications from citizens. This is an opportunity for any resident or citizen to come forward and address the council with any questions, concerns, or accolades. Have no one signed in, but if there's anyone in the audience who'd like to come forward, now is your opportunity. I don't see anyone, so I'll move on to communications from council members. I'll start on this side. Councilmember Cagle.
No, sir, I don't have any.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Nothing at this time.
Councilmember Witt.
I would like to say that I hope people are interested in the Eastern Citizens Police Academy, that David and I have both been to it, and it's very informative, and so I hope other people will register. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Tyler.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. All right, I usually have a few things, so we'll start again with usually at my library. Tuesday the 14th is still story time, 10:30 till 11. And then Thursday the 16th and 23rd from 2 to 3 is senior bingo. Right?
Yes,
Did you win any lately?
they gave me a consolation prize.
That means no.
Yes, that means no. But I took it. It was handy.
Okay, the next is Parks and Rec. Similar to the last time, spring registration is underway in East Ridge. They're offering baseball, t-ball, softball, soccer, adult softball. Then in baseball and softball is partnered with DBAT, so anyone 5 and up will get a free swing and 10 credits. Free clinic camp is on the 25th, and there's 5% off the pro shop. Also having East Ridge Parks and Rec Night for the baseball and softball teams on April the 28th. And then the softball teams will be participating in a softball night at the Lookouts on June 13th, and they'll have more information coming. Soccer, we're going to do an all-star weekend with the Rex team. We'll have the East Ridge and Park Rec Night at the Red Wolves game on April the 29th. Then registration for each of those sports, baseball, t-ball, softball is March 5th for the last day of sign-up. Soccer is February the 24th, and adult softball is March the 19th. Any questions or information, get a hold of Avery at Parks and Rec, which is AGALLAM at eastridgetn.gov. Other than that, I'll go ahead and just wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day in advance before we close the meeting, and that is all that I have. So I'll hand it to CD Manager Miller.
Thank you. Just have a couple items. Good news, our leaf pickup truck arrived last week, and it's
Yay.
operational. It's out there in the northwestern portion of the city, moving eastward. So we're pleased to finally have that truck in after a year on order. For your information, we are hearing presentations from 3 architectural firms next Tuesday afternoon for architectural services and planning for the animal shelter over there at the end of Stone Street. It's hoped that if we can come to a conclusion with one top firm and then negotiate an architectural agreement, this is a possibility to be on the agenda for the 23rd of February. If not, it would be the latest March 9th. And we had a Ringgold Road progress meeting this morning. The contractor's still working on the south side. He's looking for another 4 to 6 weeks, so weather permitting, hopefully we'll be done on the south side by mid-March, and then we'll be moving to the north side at the McBride area, and hopes right now of looking at a completion date of somewhere around October, November of 2023. Still have a lot of work to do. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right, underneath old business, we have none, so we'll move to new business. Item A, resolution number 3355.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to approve an appointment by Councilmember Cagle to the East Ridge Industrial Development Board to fill the unexpired term of Susan Thomas.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, I'd
Councilman
like to
Cagle?
appoint Jeff Ezel.
Jeff Ezo. Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion to memorialize Councilman Cagle's appointment.
I make a motion to memorialize Councilman Cagle's appointment of Jeff Ezel.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Great. Appreciate Mr. Ezel's service to the city. We'll move to item B, resolution number 3356.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the renewal of an agreement with Family Concessions LLC for the operation of food and refreshment concessions for the East Ridge Parks and Recreation Department.
Ms. Skiles?
Hello, Mayor and Council. The East Ridge Parks and Rec Department, at the direction of the East Ridge City Council, would like to renew Randy Carpenter FC LLC contract until 2027 with the following updates to the current contract. The scope of services, subject to the terms and conditions set forth herein, East Ridge hereby engages and retains FC LLC to be the exclusive provider for food, beer, not spirits, liquor, or wine, beverages, and refreshment concessions, collectively concession services, at the following locations: Camp Jordan Arena, the East Ridge Community Center, and Camp Jordan Park, and our other 5 concessions inside. FC LLC will provide concessions for all of the East Ridge athletic events, as well as any special events when and where permitted, which are sponsored by on East Ridge property owned and otherwise controlled by East Ridge. The term, subject to the terms in this agreement, the term of this renewal concession agreement shall expire on the 30th day of June of 2027. The City of East Ridge will have the option to renew the contract for 1 additional year after the 4th year. This agreement shall not automatically renew. The first right to refusal. FC LLC is granted a first right to refusal to provide beer sales for all non-city-sponsored events at the locations identified herein. Additionally, FC LLC is authorized to delegate the sale of beer to a third-party vendor, provided such third-party vendor applies for and receives a temporary special events permit under Title 8 of the East Ridge City Code. Any delegate third-party vendor shall be obligated to commencement the city in the same manner as provided in paragraph 3 of this renewal concession agreement. And then I asked that you guys had seen the updated contract that City of Litchford had done for us also.
Done a great job. There's nothing else to add to it. This will be for a 4-year term, and I understand Mr. Carpenter is in agreement with what's
Yes, sir.
contained in the agreement.
All right. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3356.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3356.
Second.
A motion to approve by Councilmember Cagle and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion? It's not really a discussion, it's more of a question. The previous one, contract was about to expire and roll into a 1-in-1, and I think, Councilman Cagle, you made the comment,
Made the
it's
amendment.
enter into a new contract for 3 years, I thought. This is 4. I don't have a problem with it, but was it for 3 or was it for 4?
I had
You were-
written down 2027.
It was wrote down as 2027.
So that'd been
that's
4.
what we, yes, that's
Okay,
what we
all right.
agreed on.
All right, I'm just a little confused.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions? Roll call, Ms. Middleton?
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution 3356 passed. We'll move to item C, Resolution 3357. Yes, you again, Ms. Kyle.
A resolution for the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city to enter into a sponsorship agreement with Academy Sports Plus Outdoors.
The East Ridge Parks and Rec Department wants to enter into a contract with Academy of Sports and Outdoors for the calendar year February 2nd, 2023 till February 1st of 2024 for our annual sponsorship they have with the park. Below are some of the highlights of the sponsorship summary and rider. They give us a $2,000 sponsorship rider. They also issue us a $250 gift card for Academy. They also supply all of our startup packs for our baseball and softball teams of 10 dozen of the Academy baseball packs, 5 of the 6 packs of the softballs, and then 10 packets of the Academy soccer balls. They also pay for our sports engine, which is our website, and they pay that for us. And that includes everything that we do on the website. That's our registration for signups, except for soccer, because it's a different portal. They do the site building for us. Anything that we need on our website, they actually support and finance. And attached to that, I included the contract that City Attorney Litchford had went over and approved for you guys to look over and go from there.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3357.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 3357.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Cagle.
I love it.
My left ear is quicker. Any discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution 3357 passed. We'll move to item D, resolution number 3358.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, accepting a proposal from Chattanooga Dock Builders for design and construction of a boardwalk and fishing pier at Camp Jordan Park.
Hello again. The Parks and Rec Department accepted proposals to design build a boardwalk and fishing pier located at Camp Jordan Park in the city of East Ridge. We received one bid from Chattanooga Dock Builders. The design build specifications were sent out to 3 companies we'd actually met with prior to get price quotes so we could kind of scope out the project. We opened the one proposal sent in and read aloud at 2 p.m. on Thursday, February 2nd. At this time, East Ridge Parks and Rec recommends that we move forward with the bid received. In the proposal, we have a 120-day turnaround for the project as we're wanting to get it finished for the Optimist Club Fishing Derby. At this time, Parks and Rec seeks approval for us to start negotiations of the contract with Chattanooga Dock Builders. To add to that, if Jeff will come up, ASA has been lending their services to us for this project, and Jeff, myself, Mr. Miller, and Brandy met with Chattanooga Dock Builders yesterday also to go over like any questions that you might have tonight for us for this, and then City Attorney Litchford has already been sent the contract to look over, and you also have it in your packets.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and get a motion on the table if we got any questions. So I'll entertain a motion to resolution number 3358.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3358.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion?
Got a few.
Yes, sir.
Here where it says bid price on page 11 states 163, blah, 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 versus 150. I don't have page 12, line 4 to clarify what that is.
Which one?
I believe there's a discrepancy in 2 of the items. The first item was basically a budget number that we thought it would come in at. We added some extra provisions in there for warranties and also engineering, so that it's a design build, so they got to provide their own engineering. But we did We did, I think we got that clarified and made the numbers, but our initial review showed that discrepancy, so we wanted to go ahead and point it out, but we did clarify it.
Okay, and we don't know what the pile driving is gonna cost?
We don't. Well, so there has not been a geotechnical exploration there. We have drilled out there for wells. We believe that everything will be fine. But basically, 20-foot pile lengths, basically from the surface of the water down is what we're anticipating, and we actually believe we'll hit refusal before then. But just in case they do have to drive further, there is that additional cost if it has to be done. We don't know what that would be, but we are confident that we're not going to exceed that.
Jeff, I think he mentioned somewhere between $4,000 to $7,000 if it got to that point.
Well, so it's per pile. I think it's $80 per
Right.
linear foot if you do that. So let's just say one of the 6 or 7 pile that we're driving for the pier. Let's say one of them goes below 20 feet. Let's say it goes 22 feet. Then 2 feet of that would be at that $80 a foot. So that'd be an extra $160 for that extra 2 feet. And really that's because of the materials. They have to splice it. And so it's really the materials and having to do the splice on it that is so labor intensive and materials that come with it.
All right. Do you all foresee any dynamite blasting? Because previous work that we have done down there, we had to blast dynamite because rock level is so close to the top of the ground down there. Because I remember they went around the close neighborhoods, took pictures of foundations, blocks and everything.
If for some reason we hit shallow rock, it would be augered, it wouldn't be blasted. So basically, as long as the pile gets a certain depth, if it hits rock, then it's at refusal, so that would suffice. The dock's not gonna go anywhere, so if they hit it very close to the surface, it has to have a certain embedment in there, so they would auger it out at that point. But we drilled close to field 1. I think we hit rock somewhere around 15 feet. So we don't anticipate that there will be rock that shallow. All we need is a few feet of embedment in the soil. But there would not be blasting.
No blasting,
No
that's what I
blasting.
wrote down.
No blasting.
Let's see, I think it's one more on this one that I've got. I don't know if it was on this contract or the other one. Got the 50,000 for the engineering fee plus 8%. Is that on this one or is that on the other one?
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
Yes,
That is
sir.
a different one, yes, sir.
I'm through.
All right. Anyone else? All right. And I will also mention this is still under the amount that we were awarded
Yes.
the grant for of 250,000.
That's correct. We were awarded 250. This is at 163.
All right. All right, no other questions? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes,
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3358 passed. We'll move to resolution 3359.
The resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute a contract with HHM Certified Public Accountants for auditing services for fiscal year 2022-2023 as required by the state of Tennessee and other regulatory agencies.
Sir, Mr. Miller.
Okay, thank you. HHM CPAs have been with the City of East Ridge now since 2012, doing our auditing services. Our fiscal years run July 1st to June 30th. Last year, we paid them in the amount of $31,500 for the audit for 2021-22. They've submitted a transmittal letter that they will perform the audit this year for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023, and also include the East Ridge Industrial Development Board at a cost of $34,000. I should note that if a single audit is required, that would be an additional $5,000. A single audit has to do with auditing a specific grant over $1 million. I do anticipate that we will have a single audit done on the multimodal, but I don't think it's not set to be done in fiscal year 22-23. It will be completed in fiscal year 23-24. So it's before you tonight to appoint HHM CPAs to perform the audit for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023.
All right, thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3359.
I make a motion to approve resolution 3359.
A motion approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3359 passed. We'll move to item F, resolution number 3360.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to waive the fee for use of Camp Jordan Arena by the River City Corvette Club for a fundraiser to help benefit the East Ridge Needy Child Fund and the Chattanooga Food Bank.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Council, Mayor. Mark just pretty much went over it. But the River City Corvette Club, a 501c3 nonprofit, requests use of Camp Jordan Arena from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on August 5th, 2023. And it's to host their annual car show. Amy Long is a representative from River City Corvette Club, and she is asking the city to waive the fees associated with renting the arena. The total rental fees for the event would be $1,700 for the day in the past. In events past, they have raised around $7,000, which is then donated back to the East Ridge Needy Child Fund and the Chattanooga Food Bank. The purpose of the club is to sponsor and support club foundation or function, charity and civic events at local and national level. Staff does recommend waiving the fees in support of this event.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3360.
Resolution number 3360.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Helton and a second by Councilmember Cagle. Do you have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3360 passed. We'll move to item G, resolution number 3361.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving the application for an acceptance of the Local Parks and Recreation Fund 2023 grant program.
Yes, Mr. McAllister.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The Economic and Community Development Department, alongside Parks and Rec, is asking for the approval from Council to submit an intent to apply letter for the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation LPRF grant for fiscal year 2023. This grant will be utilized to renovate, update, and redevelop the East Ridge Community Center. The maximum award amount is a $2 million grant with a 50-50 match from the city. Last council meeting, I told you all that we would be meeting with some engineer services to kind of get a preliminary proposal on the project and the costs that would be associated with this project. And we have worked with Jeff from ASA Engineering and Gene Edwards, and they have submitted a proposal that's attached into your packet with a couple of different prices for different work. I did want to mention, though, that there's a couple of emails that I submitted to Janet so that she would include them in the packet, and one of them came in after the packet was sent out. So there's a $50 or a $50,000 charge for civil, which Jackie was asking about the 8% for engineering, and then there's a secondary email that followed up with that with a verbal quote for $225,000 for flooring that would be added to the cost of this project. As far as the 8% engineering costs, Jeff, do you want to answer that?
So most of the engineering, I mean, it's really just the expansion of the building, but you'll have heating, mechanical, electrical that's got to be done. And we put a standard for the engineering work, the little bit of civil and survey, and then we put just a guesstimate of 8% for the mechanical, electrical. Honestly, I think that's going to come in way under that because the flooring is a big piece of this that, you know, does not have engineering with it, and it is a design build, so the structural engineering will be done by the manufacturer of the building. Will provide all the stamp drawings there. But just to put a placemaker in there, I put that as a, you know, probably overestimate estimate for the grant funding, but, you know, it'll be a lot less than that, I believe.
So the 8% is just on the 225?
Well, no, the 8% is typical, so the 8% is really on the majority of the building itself. The HVAC system has to be moved, so you have to have a HVAC or a mechanical engineer design that, and then also the electrical that goes with it. Most all of the engineering is going to be associated with that. But if you look at, you know, like a roadway or something like that, you'd have a lot heavier civil engineering fees in comparison to the actual price. With this, because the flooring is a large number and there's no engineering that goes with the flooring, you'll probably be closer to 5%, maybe even less than that. But we had to, you know, just basically make a guess at it, what we, you know, what is typical with the industry.
Thank you.
Thank you, sirs. Ma'am. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3361.
Motion to approve resolution number 3361.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any additional questions?
I do. I noticed the base price. Where am I? $335,000, I think it said. And it, but it does not.
330, yeah, 330 plus 2.25 for the flooring. So you're looking at $600,000 total.
So that is the
Somewhere in that-
flooring coming in from the outside vendor.
Correct.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we want, our whole means on this grant is to get our gymnasium, what I classify as tournament certified, so that we can have or not professional, competitive
league play.
basketball tournaments over there throughout the year. It's too small at the present time, and it can't be certified to be tournament ready. So we use it just for pretty much for pickup games. But when we get into competitive basketball leagues along that line, we will be seeing increases in program fees for the use of that gymnasium. So that's why we're looking at expanding it to make it regulation size, the flooring, so that we can get that certification to utilize that site.
So the floor that's there now is a rubberized floor. The center was never built out for that gymnasium to even play our rec league at standards. We have 13, 14-year-olds over there that are playing 20 foot less than what you would at a high school gym. Even Daniel's daughter plays in our rec league. We do really good with our rec league and what we have over there, but it is so small, and it's to that point to where we have a chance to actually do something with something else here in our city center and make it a little bit better, and it actually be to where I have people actually that reach out to us now that want to do a weekend tournament, and you can do those on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We can't, because it's not going to hold what they need, or does it meet the regulations, as Mr. Miller said.
Well, there's a couple of things else on this, like the kitchen appliance. I heard you talking about you was gonna remodel the kitchen.
Yes, so
but
that
I
is
noticed
not
it's
in
not
there.
included.
That is a little bit of what Cameron will put in there off of some specs that we've put together, because we do look to replace the cabinets on the senior side, excuse me. We look to replace those, and we look to replace the countertops also.
Appliances.
And well, we've already started replacing some of the appliances, so, and then we're also looking at, if I'm correct, from the engineering, the center side will come out a little too. We're looking at expanding the senior side to make it a little bit bigger, and then we'll put new flooring down in there also into the front. Basically, we've already revitalized the large room. We're looking at revitalizing the front and the sides. So Cameron, and we have some of those estimates that we've put together, and that will go into the other grant of it. So the packet had already been sent out, so that's my fault.
Okay, then I thought every building that we were rebuilding was gonna have to have the sprinkler systems installed, and I noticed this one didn't.
We have a fire alarm system, so I'd have to look. I know we have to bring it up to ADA, and then we would need to get with Michael about the sprinkler system, because we do have a fire alarm system now that indicates anything that happens in there for us, but
We do know that the bathrooms have to be remodeled to be ADA required. They've got to be,
And
We know that that's ahead
we
of
have
us.
the ADA compliance book for all city facilities, so that was taken into account when the funding was made available.
Goddess knows just says no proposed restrooms on this, so.
Well, I think we're gonna do a vanity wall in front of them right now, as if somebody opens the door, it, basically right up to the facility. So I think we're gonna do a vanity wall in there as well, but it's a very small item. And if it's okay, I need to clarify, I looked at the email that I sent. $50,000 was for the or basically shifting the road back in the back of it. So the expansion would take it out into the existing pavement. So the $50,000 was a number to basically relocate the road back a little bit further and also deal with relocation of some of the sanitary sewer and yard features, the drainage. And then the 8% was a number that was set aside for engineering, surveying, everything that's got to be done in order to get it permitted and get it built. So I wanted to make that clarification.
Any other questions?
Yeah, the price of the flooring, is that just the materials or does that include labor?
It's fully installed.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes,
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3361 pass. All right, we'll move to, that's all on for the current agenda, so now we'll move into the discussion for the tentative agenda for the February 23rd council meeting. There would not be any old business, so under new business, we have an unnumbered resolution, bids for seal coating the splash pad, which would open February the 16th, 2023. Any discussion or any comments on that?
is this gonna have to be a yearly deal?
No,
No?
No,
no,
just
this is a
one time?
one-time shot. I'm not sure. Yeah, you're up again.
Seal coating,
Michael was ahead of me. I'm so sorry.
seal coating,
Seal
splash
coating,
pad?
how long does that last? 5 to 7 years?
Yes, sir.
So we want to seal coat it, the lasting longevity, and that's probably 5 to 7 years.
Any other questions?
That was not done in the original, because the budget was maxed out on our last LPRF grant, which the splash pad and the playground were done with. So that was not accounted for at that time. And this summer, there at the splash pad again, we've got a little bit more work to try to do to make it a little bit better, like with benches and some shade. But the coating is what we need to put down for safety, because the concrete does need to be sealed. But if we put just a regular clear sealant, then we're gonna have everybody bust their boot easy running across it, which is again why you put a safety coating down. And I've had, I think, 5 or 6 different companies come out and look and recommend the product, which was the Tough Coat, which is what we put out for the specs in order to protect everybody.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Next item would be another unnumbered resolution, the RFP for the generator at City Hall, which would open February 15th, 2023. Mr. Howell?
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and Council. As you know, the servers are located at fire and police in a not-so-friendly environment up there. So in the near future, these servers will be moved to City Hall. At that point, we'll be looking for emergency backup system for this servers. It's impossible HVAC in that room as well, and as we discussed earlier tonight with Mr. Miller, some additional lighting to get into the building if the servers, if it did go down or anything, that we could, light up to where they need to be.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, council? See none. Thank you. Next item is another unnumbered resolution, development agreement with Kelly X-Ray.
Okay, Kelly X-Ray Company located at 1500 Fruitland Drive in the summer of '22. They acquired the property, made substantial improvements to that building to the tune of somewhere around $855,000. They sell and service X-ray equipment to hospitals, medical offices, and veterinarian clinics. They have requested to participate in the Border Region Tourism Development District Act and enter into a development agreement with the City of East Ridge. They're scheduled before the IDB Board, Industrial Development Board, on February 16th, and then thereafter before the city council if they're approved by IDB for February 23rd. Do a lot of sales out of that office, somewhere in the neighborhood of about $2.3 million a year. So the Board of Regents sales tax is going to come back is pretty good.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, council? I see none. The last item we have on the tentative agenda is another unnumbered resolution, the RFQ for the construction of the animal shelter.
That's a request for qualifications. We received 3 of them, as I mentioned earlier in my report. We have scheduled Tuesday, February 14th in the afternoon to hear presentations by all 3 of these firms. We hope that the selection committee will be in a position to make a final selection, negotiate a contract with them, usually the AIA Standard Architectural Agreement, and have it before the city council for February 23rd at the earliest. At the latest, it would be March 9th. I'm being optimistic, and hopefully we can get this on the February 23rd meeting and move ahead with the planning and design of an animal control facility over on Stone Street.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, council? I see none. All right, that is it for the tentative agenda. Is there any other items we need to address or add? I see none.
Oh, hold on.
You barely got in. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have a Safe Routes to School grant that the city received back in 2015, I believe it was. That was prior to my coming on board. It included sidewalks on the west side of Belvoir from Ringgold Road north. I think it would be the 3rd Street up. I can't remember the name of that now. As well as a pathway from the school out to John Ross Road. Sometime between then, when I retired last time in 18 to now, that portion of the Belvoir grant was eliminated. So the only thing left on the Safe Routes to Schools grant was the walkway leading from the school and ending at John Ross Road. Now, from John Ross Road has no sidewalks on either side. And to be able to tie that walkway via a sidewalk constructed down to Ringgold Road is going to cost an additional $250,000 or more, because right-of-way is going to have to be acquired. That was never part of the grant. I don't know why it wasn't, but right now the grant only includes a walkway from the school, front of the school, to John Ross and ends right there. That's a terrible design. You're not going to have elementary kids walking that walkway, walking to John Ross, and not knowing which way to go because there's no sidewalks, there's no pedestrian crossings, there's no sidewalks on the other side, and where are they going to go? Safely. So Cameron and I met with the school's principal and I think one of the associate principals of Eastridge Elementary School about 2 Fridays ago. They basically feel the same way. It does not provide for a safe environment for kids to be walking, using that walkway and stop right there at John Ross Road. They also believe that they don't have any children that need to cross Ringgold Road to go up towards the neighborhood of Belvoir. If anything, they would like to see something that would connect it to the south, some of the streets to the south, as a Safe Routes to Schools program. However, that's not in this grant. The grant's been around since 2015. We either need to do it as it's been chopped away over the years, or walk away from it, and if we do that, it's going to cost the city about $24,000, give or take, because the state has already reimbursed us $24,000. So we have to pay the state back the $24,000 and then close the account out. So that'll be on the agenda for the 23rd.
Thank you, sir.
That just came to me very quickly, so sorry about that.
Any questions at this time? We have time to think about it. Anything else? I see nothing. All right. Hope everyone has a happy Valentine's, and this meeting is adjourned. A road to nowhere.